thank you.
Thank you. Dad. Yeah.
We'll call the November meeting of the Plan Commission to order. Our first order of business tonight will be the approval of the minutes from August. Has anyone read through those minutes?
I have, and I will approve them.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve the minutes. Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Michelle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. All right. Do we have any unfinished business?
None.
All right. New business, would you please take a look at the Plan Commission dates for next year? You might want to run this off or get it on your calendar for next year. Does anyone have any concerns looking over those dates?
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar as
A motion by Aaron to approve. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimously accepted those dates, and thank you for preparing those for us, Kim. All right. Then our second order of new business is the Gateway Grove PUD, what would you call it, amendment or
Replat, yes.
replat? Okay, replat. So maybe you can introduce this to it and then.
Yeah, so this is a replat of Phase 1 for the Gateway Grove PUD. Preliminary and final plat for the Gateway Grove subdivision PUD was approved in 2021, so some of you may remember that. It was approved by this board and the city council. The petitioner is now requesting approval of a proposed replat to Phase 1 to accommodate development by reducing some of the lot sizes for lots 10 through 25. The proposed replat will change the side yard setbacks from 5 feet to 4 feet and some of the corner lots from 10 feet to 9 feet. Although some of the lot lines are shifted in this proposed replat, it does not change the number of lots in the PUD. This replat will enable the petitioner to modify the floor plan, to use modified floor plan units for stacked units on lots 16 through 25. This replat is a relatively minor modification to the plat that was approved in 2021 and aligns with the city's comprehensive plan. I recommend that the Plan Commission grant final approval for the Gateway Grove subdivision PUD replat of Phase 1.
All right, I think petitioner is present, so would you like to tell us what your plans are here?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Tim Saylor with Innovative Communities.
Welcome,
My
Tim.
office is located at 697 Bungalow Drive in Napanee, and I'm representing the Groninger Group, who is the developer of Gateway Grove. Justin gave the recap of the history of the project. We're looking to replat certain lots to make them bigger. I think you might have said smaller,
Oh.
but we were taking some of the common area and allocating it on lots 16 through 25 to make them a little bit bigger. And the purpose of all of this is simply to adapt to what the marketplace is calling for. We're trying to provide a product at a slightly lower price point. The original housing was, in some cases, well over 300,000, and it just, we're trying to reach a different price point. So to do that, we need to adjust the building envelope just a little bit. But the total number of lots is exactly the same. There is no new public infrastructure involved with this. And so we're seeking final plat approval for the minor changes this evening through a replat. And I'll be happy to address any questions that you may have about this specifically. Thank you.
Now, if I recall correctly, the common area is the easement to your water services, correct?
No, there are a variety of different common areas. I don't know how well you can.
I'm looking at the one in between the two rows, right there.
Yeah, so that is unchanged. We had some additional common area over on this side.
Okay,
And so we've taken that common area and allocated it out to make these lots a foot bigger. And then adjusted the setbacks from 5 to 4 feet. They have a particular 22-foot wide product that they'd like to build there, which would not have fit previously, and this will allow them to build that.
okay, so it won't affect the area where the easements are.
But that, the other common area that was set aside, will that be smaller or eliminated? I didn't understand exactly.
The common area around the perimeter, it becomes smaller
Okay.
by 6 feet.
Question that I have, I think everything that's being replatted makes sense, so I hate to point out something that maybe was already on the original, but I have a question about common areas. Between lots 7 and 8 is where there's the sidewalk that goes through there. Is the intent of the walks and common areas that they're only to service residents of the addition? Or is there a thought that those more would maybe need to be a right-of-way to allow public usage?
The walks in the common way are intended for the residents of the neighborhood that would be owned and maintained
Okay.
by the HOA.
Okay. That would be the way I would have assumed from it. And my other question, I don't know if this is an annotative error. On the south end of lots 16 through 25, there's a label that says 5-foot wide easement for underground and overhead electric lines, and it references a deed record. But the arrows coming from that call out, I'm not following. And it may not be important, I don't know.
So that
That
easement,
might be the guy to answer it there, but anyway, okay.
that easement was a carryover that was originally on the land before before Gateway Grove was developed. And so if you look at it, this leader arrow points to it. This one, the leader arrow is a little confusing to exactly where it's pointing to, but
I suppose I see it now that it's pointing to that 5-foot dimension then.
yeah, and that's a little bit misleading. But the easement has existed prior to the development of the site
Okay.
because of those overhead utility lines that run there. And so this is just making reference to the fact that there's a previously existing easement on it.
Okay.
And then is that still a public alley that's running behind those homes?
Yes.
Where we're adjusting our alley and getting additional alley right-of-way, so this additional alley right-of-way is, I don't know the term, blanketed or on top of the easements that are deeded there as well. This may not have anything to do with platting this might be, I need to get more information about that deed record and that easement from you, Tim. I'm just concerned we're moving our alley into this easement. And if NIPSCO has rights there still, are their rights greater than our public right-of-way rights?
I don't know the answer to that question specifically. So the developer is granting additional right-of-way, as you say, to clean up the situation that exists there now, because right now, the part of the alley, the pavement is actually on the neighbors to the south's property. So when we developed the site, we thought, well, wouldn't this be a great opportunity to grant a little bit of right-of-way and clean this all up?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's platted that way now, so we're not, with this replat, it's
Yep.
not impacting any of that. So whatever exists there now, and this replat doesn't affect that one way or another.
Yep, I'll agree that it doesn't affect the plat. What it affects something else that's not relevant to this plat approval that we'll talk about separately, I suppose, just to make sure we understand it more. I need to, if we're moving our alley into that easement, we might need to get them to relinquish all rights of that easement over to us, and just occupy public right-of-way with their utilities.
May I just ask a question for clarification? When you say that you want it replatted to use a modified floor plan for stacked units, does that mean two-story units, or does that mean multiple
Yes.
multiple family units? Okay, so the two, like the houses that are there now, the homes that are here now that are 2 stories?
So they're two separate units, but they're
Yes.
stacked. But from
Uh-huh.
the exterior, it will
It
look
looks
like a single-family
one home,
house.
But there's 2 different
Yes, correct.
tenants or owners
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah, okay. I did tour it recently to see the ones that were already built, so I have an idea in my
Uh-huh.
mind. I just wanted to know if I was thinking correctly. Are there other questions that the commission would like for clarification? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to move one way or another with this request?
I move that we approve the proposal.
So a motion's on the floor to approve the replat. Is there a second?
A second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. That's very helpful to us when our petitioners come, so we appreciate that.
It's a little easier now. When we did it the first time, it was during COVID.
Yes,
We were really
you had to explain
scrambling
everything
around
to us.
figure it out.
Thank you. All right, then our second order of business would be the preliminary and final plat for an industrial on Durban Street, if you want to explain that, Justin.
Yeah, so the preliminary and final replat for the Winona Park 7th amended and additional plat has been submitted in a timely fashion and reviewed for its conformity to the subdivision control ordinance. The proposed plat meets the development standards for a subdivision within an I-2 zoning district. The replat merges a series of lots to create one 3.15 acre lot. This replat also cleans up right-of-way misalignments along Hendrick Street. The proposed replat will help facilitate the 60-unit affordable housing complex known as 2525 Durban. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'd give this a favorable recommendation from the planning department.
So, does anyone on the plan commission have any questions for Justin? Okay, hearing no questions, I'll entertain a motion as to what the plan commission would like to do with this. Are you still looking at it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a few moments to look at. Do you want to just tell us a little bit more about the background of this?
Yeah, the city actually requested that they do this. It makes their setbacks on the north side of Hendricks conform, so that right-of-way alignment is pertinent. Otherwise, they would need to seek a variance for that setback. The housing project is pretty much wrapping up as far as construction goes. It's just one of those loose ends that we needed to tie up. The city actually initiated the process of this replat, but then when ownership changed, we had to delay it for a year. So this is just tying up that loose end.
So action by you to clean it up, and you're needing preliminary and final plat approval, right?
Correct. There's no new public roads or anything
Okay.
that would be included in this.
Okay.
So first of all, the process would be that we would need to approve the preliminary plat, and if we do so unanimously, then we can suspend the rules, vote if we want to suspend the rules, and then we could vote on the final plat this evening.
I move to approve the preliminary plat.
So we have a motion to approve the preliminary plat. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Second by Bob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Seeing that's a unanimous vote, is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
A motion to suspend the rules is on the floor. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second. All in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Now I need a motion to approve the final replat.
So moved.
Second in that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so it passes both on preliminary and final replat. Thank you for that. And do you have any additional matters that might become before this board that we've not addressed yet?
None.
All right. Hearing that we have no other matters to discuss tonight, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Anybody not in favor may stay here. This will conclude our meeting.
Thanks, Diane.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. We're getting ready to build an alley.
Well, okay, so